Hey there. So picture this. Every single year, millions of students are packing up their entire lives and crossing oceans, all for one thing, a college degree. But what's really going on here? What makes someone take such a huge leap? Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's a really big question, right? I mean, why would you leave your friends, your family, basically everything you've ever known for a classroom that's thousands of miles away?
Well, as it turns out, the answer is way bigger than just getting a piece of paper. We're talking about ambition, about opportunity, and really about growing as a person on a totally global scale. So let's dive right in. Okay, first up, let's talk about the pull factors. These are all the awesome benefits that are literally pulling students to study abroad. And a big one to start with, the promise of a much better career. So, it's no surprise that students are often pulled toward countries that are famous for their top tier universities. I'm talking about places like the US, the UK, Canada, and Australia. They're like magnets for talented people from all over the world. And it's all because their schools have such an incredible reputation.
And you can really see the difference in how these degrees are valued. An international degree, it's often seen as this kind of golden ticket. It's a credential that can open doors pretty much anywhere in the world. And that gives graduates a serious advantage when things get competitive out there in the job market.
Just think about it from the perspective of a tech student. The chance to learn from some of the best professors in the world at a place like MIT or Stanford, and to have access to all that cutting edge research, that's an opportunity that's, well, almost impossible to say no to.
And listen, it's not just what happens in the classroom. When you study abroad, you're putting yourself right on the doorstep of these huge global companies. Getting that kind of practical, hands on experience, say with a company like Siemens or SAP, that could be the one thing that launches you into an amazing international career.
But the poll isn't all about career moves and resumes. It's also something that's deeply personal. So now let's look at the kind of growth that happens completely outside of the lecture hall. This whole journey is, well, it's transformative. First, you've got to adapt to a brand new culture and lifestyle. In that process, it builds this incredible sense of independence and confidence. And in the end, you walk away with a truly global worldview. Let's put it this way. Imagine a student from Brazil studying in Paris. They're not just hitting the books for their major, right? They're picking up French, they're learning how to navigate a totally different culture, and they're literally living European history every day. I mean, that's an education all by itself. So, all of this experience helps you develop a skill called cross cultural competence. And trust me, this isn't just some corporate buzzword. It's a super critical skill that employers today are absolutely desperate to find. It's proof that you can actually thrive in a diverse global workplace. And let's get practical for a second. Being on your own in a new country forces you to get good at some crucial life skills. We're talking budgeting, problem solving, handling your own money, all without that family safety net. You mature in ways that, let's be honest, you probably just wouldn't back home. All right, so we've covered the pull factors, all the good stuff drawing students in. But what about the push? What's going on back home that might actually push a student to look for opportunities somewhere else? And this really shows the contrast pretty clearly. At home, students might be dealing with some serious limitations. Maybe the curriculum is a bit outdated, or the research labs don't have enough funding, or there just aren't as many connections to top-notch internship programs. So, for example, let's say you're a super ambitious engineering student. You want to dive into a cutting edge field like AI or robotics. But what if those courses just aren't available where you live? Well, then the decision to go abroad isn't just a choice, it's pretty much a necessity if you're serious about your career. And you see the same thing happening in other specialized fields too. A medical student might decide on the US or the UK simply because the university hospitals there have the kind of advanced technology and training they need to become a real top tier doctor, stuff they just can't get access to back home. So, when you start to put all these pieces together, the push factors and the pull factors, a really clear picture starts to form. This isn't just a decision about 4 years of your life. No way. It's a lifelong investment. So let's recap. When you boil it all down, you see this really powerful mix of reasons. Students are looking for better quality of education, they want those global career opportunities, they're hungry for new cultural experiences, they need access to modern facilities and research, and of course, there's that huge element of personal growth and independence. At the end of the day, it really comes down to this. Getting the degree, that's just one piece of the puzzle. The real prize is the whole shebang. It's an investment in becoming a more open-minded person, a more capable person, and building a future where you're not limited by borders.
And that leaves us with one final thought, a question just for you. If you were to pack your bags and take this journey, what do you think the single biggest gain would be for your life? Something to think about.